Welcome to a beautiful day at Carousel Farm. Today we will be tackling a Category 2 individual item. Now, the three main important parts about tackling an item such as this is we need to make sure that we control all the body parts. We always show them how to get out of the situation and try our best to never put them into a scary situation. Those are the main three things that we are going to focus on as we work with these individual objects. So in order to make sure and to train that control, I'm going to take my horse on the wall, and there's 4 directions a horse can go. A horse can go front and back, side to side. So I'm going to take my horse on the wall. I'm going to make sure that I can walk them straight and stop, back them up straight and stop, and also move their body to the left and to the right to make sure that if I need to straighten them out going onto a sensory item, that I can. So let's do that. Now, why are we going to use the wall? The reason we're going to use the wall is because we can use it to work on our straightness. It helps us out. It makes our job a little easier. So we practice on the wall, we get it down pat, and then we can take them off the wall and practice before we go to our sensory item. The wall helps block one of the directions a horse can go, which helps us as trainers to effectively communicate what we're asking our horse to do. So now, let's begin. So we want to start by walking your horse on the wall. Now, when we first start off, this might take a while. It might take a couple tries to truly get your horse nice and straight on this wall. So it's okay if you need to do a couple circles. To get them nice and straight on this wall. Very important. So now, our very first direction, is we want to be able to walk our horses forward and ask them to stop. Just like that. Very simple, very clean, very clear. The second thing we want to be able to make our horses do is back up. So I'm going to take my cue stick, and I'm asking my pony to back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, halt, and halt. So once again, walk forward, and halt, and back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, and halt. You want to be able to walk forward, straight, halt, back up, straight, and halt. So once we do that, we're going to get back nice centered on our wall. Just going to walk forward. Halt. We want to make sure we can control our horses side to side. So we're going to start and ask him to swing his butt over to the left. Step over, step over, step over, step over, step over. So his butt is parallel with the wall. Then we're going to ask him to walk forward, straight and stop, and do the other direction, making sure that we can control if we need to straighten them out, entering any obstacle or anything that we can. Ask him to move his butt to the right, step over, step over, step over, step over, and release. Say, good boy. So you want to make sure we can control a horse going forward, backwards, and side to side. Okay, so it's very important when we're working with our horses and we're making sure we can control every direction, that every time we ask our horse to move from one side to the other, we walk them forward in reward. That's kind of like saying, good boy and thank you. That's our way of rewarding our horse for giving us what I ask. So we don't want to ask them to move one direction and then ask them to move back the other direction. We always want to make sure that once they move one direction, we walk them forward in reward. So once again, I'll demonstrate this one more time. Good boy. So I'm going to ask my horse to walk forward and stop, hold, and then back up, back up, back up, back up, and then halt, and then move over to our left, step over, step over, step over, step over, step over, and release, and then walk them forward as a reward, saying thank you for stepping over and doing what I'm asking you to do. And then step over the other direction, step over, step over, and release, walking them forward, saying good boy. So before we get started, we want to make sure that we can do that. We want to make sure that we can control all 4 directions. So what I just showed you is I showed you that you need to be able to walk them straight and stop, back them up straight and stop, and also move their haunch to the left and move their haunch to the right if they are going to need straightened. Now, the second most important body part that you need to be able to control are the 2 front legs. The part that we want to be able to control those so that on command they will lift their legs up. So if we are getting onto a pedestal or a bridge or entering an object, we can ask them to lift their leg up and step onto the object. So everybody's seen a horse out in the field with a fly on their leg, and when they get a fly on their leg and it's irritating, they pick it up. So that's exactly what we would like our horses to do. So the way we're going to ask them and teach them to pick up their leg is we're going to be irritating with the whip, ticklish. We're going to slightly tap them until they pick up their leg. Now as soon as they pick up their leg, we're going to release and reward and walk forward. So the first time we do this, your horse might not be quick to pick up its leg. So you must be patient and continue to slightly tap them, to gently tap until they pick up their leg. And as time goes on with practice and practice, soon you will just lightly tap your horse's leg and they will lift up their leg. So when we're tapping the leg, they're going to pick it up as a source of irritation. So we are not hitting the leg, we are slightly tapping and irritating the leg until they pick their leg up in an effort to get it to stop. So here's what it looks like. As soon as they pick up their foot, release and walk forward, saying, all right. Release and walk forward. Once again, lightly tap. As soon as they pick it up, release and walk forward. Lightly tap. As soon as they pick it up, release and walk forward. So it's very, very important that we can control the 2 front legs and the 4 directions that a horse can go. Once we have all this control, we're ready to move to an obstacle.